They say grief changes you, but nobody warns you that revenge transforms you into something unrecognizable. My name is Wendy Anderson, and 5 years ago I walked away from my daughter to hunt the men who killed her godfather and the baby I didn't know I was carrying. 5 years of blood, violence, and becoming someone my 2-year-old would never recognize. They announced I was dead. Let the world believe it. While Jun-seo raised Min-ji alone, reading her the letter I left over and over, I disappeared into the darkest corners of Asia tracking a ghost, a man whose family the Matriarch had slaughtered, who'd spent decades building his revenge. I found him. Lost him. Chased him through 5 countries and came back with nothing but scars and a capacity for violence that scared even me. Now Min-ji is almost 10, and I've returned to prepare her for the war that's coming. But the woman who left was warm, loving, maternal. The woman who came back only speaks in strategies and survival. My daughter looks at me like I'm a stranger wearing her mother's face. And maybe she's right. This is the story of what happens when you choose revenge over family, when you become the weapon instead of the person, and when you realize that winning the hunt might mean losing everything you were hunting for. Before we continue this final chapter, hit that subscribe button if you've been following this journey. Drop a like and tell me in the comments, can you ever really come back from becoming a monster? Your support keeps these stories alive. Now let's see what 5 years of hunting did to Wendy, Jun-seo, and the daughter caught between them. The funeral happened 3 days after the hospital released Wendy. They buried Kang Dae-young on a hillside overlooking Seoul, the city he protected in his final act. Min-ji didn't understand why Uncle Kang was in a box, why Mommy kept crying and holding her stomach, why everyone wore black and spoke in whispers. When does Kang-shi wake up? She asked for the 100th time. Wendy knelt beside her daughter, ignoring the pain in her abdomen where stitches held her together. Baby, remember what we talked about? Uncle Kang is sleeping forever now. He can't wake up. But he's always going to love you. I want him to wake up now, Min-ji said, her small face crumpling. I want to show him my new drawing. Jun-seo stood apart, his face blank as he scanned the mourners. 50 people had come, former organization members, current employees, people whose lives Kang had touched in his 3 years of redemption. But Jun-seo wasn't looking at them. He was looking for threats. He found one. The shot came from the trilene, professional and precise. It missed Jun-seo by inches, he'd moved at the last second, some instinct firing, and hit Wendy instead. She was standing, had just picked up Min-ji, and the bullet caught her in the stomach. The same stomach that had been healing from surgery 3 days ago. She went down hard, Min-ji tumbling from her arms. Security swarmed immediately. Jun-seo grabbed his daughter, covered her body with his, shouted orders into his radio. More shots came, hitting mourners, security, the casket. Someone was trying to kill them all at Kang's funeral. It lasted 40 seconds. The shooter escaped. 4 people died. And Wendy lay bleeding in the grass beside Kang's grave, consciousness fading, hand pressed to her stomach where new blood mixed with old wounds. In the ambulance, the paramedics worked frantically. Jun-seo sat beside her, holding Min-ji who was screaming, covered in her mother's blood for the 2nd time in a week. Stay with me, Jun-seo said to Wendy, his usual flat effect cracking. Stay with me. Min-ji needs you. I need you. Wendy's eyes found his. Find them, she whispered. Find who did this. Promise me. I promise. But you have to stay alive. Promise me, she repeated, and then her eyes closed. The surgery took 6 hours. The bullet had torn through healing tissue, caused massive internal bleeding, destroyed things the doctors tried to explain but Jun-seo couldn't process. When they finally came out, their faces told him everything. Your wife will live, the surgeon said. But there was significant damage. She was pregnant, very early, maybe 4 weeks. She lost the baby. And there's damage to her uterus. She may not be able to carry another pregnancy. I'm sorry. Jun-seo stood there, processing. Another child. Gone before they'd known it existed. Killed by the same people who'd killed Kang. He looked through the window at Min-ji, sleeping in the waiting room chair, exhausted from trauma. Their only child now. Their only family. When Wendy woke up, he told her everything. Watched her process the loss of a baby she hadn't known she was carrying. Watched something break in her eyes that hadn't broken even when Kong died. Who did this? She asked, voice flat. We don't know yet. I have everyone searching. Someone planned this specifically, hid us at the funeral when we were vulnerable, when security was spread thin. Find them, Wendy said. And when you do, I want to be the one who ends it. You need to heal first. I'll heal, Wendy said, and her eyes were cold. And then I'm going to kill everyone responsible. Everyone who took Kong. Everyone who took our baby. Everyone. 3 weeks later, they had their first lead. A name that meant nothing to them but everything to their past, Chen Zhao. Korean Chinese, 63 years old, ghost in the underworld. And connected to a family the Matriarch had destroyed 40 years ago. Jun-seo's research painted a horrifying picture. In 1985, when Choi Sung-hee was consolidating power, a rival Korean Chinese family had challenged her control of the docks. The Chen family. She'd responded with overwhelming violence, killed the parents, the grandparents, burned their businesses, scattered their children. One of those children, a boy of 8, had survived. Had been presumed dead but lived. Had spent 4 decades building power, resources, connections. Had waited patiently for the right moment to strike. That moment was now. With the Matriarch gone, with Jun-seo trying to go legitimate, Chen Zhao saw weakness. Saw opportunity for revenge against the family that had destroyed his. He's been planning this for years, Jun-seo said, studying the intelligence reports. Every move calculated. He waited until we had something to lose. Until we had Min-ji. Until we thought we were safe. Then he struck. Where is he? Wendy asked. She was out of the hospital now, moving carefully, still healing. Unknown. He's operated through intermediaries for decades. No one's seen him in person in years. He's a ghost. Then I'll hunt ghosts, Wendy said. That night, Jun-seo found her packing. A single bag. Weapons, cash, fake documents. She was preparing to disappear. What are you doing? He asked, though he already knew. I can't stay here, Wendy said. Every day I'm here, I'm a target. Min-ji is a target. You're a target. Chen Zhao will keep coming. The only way to stop him is to find him. And I can't do that from here. So you're leaving. I'm hunting, Wendy corrected. I'm going to find him. And I'm going to kill him. However long it takes. Wendy, we can do this together. We can. No, she interrupted. We can't. Someone needs to stay with Min-ji. Someone needs to run the organization, maintain the alliances, keep our world stable. That's you. You're the strategist. I'm the operative. We do what we do best. She needs her mother. She needs to be alive, Wendy said. As long as Chen Zhao breathes, she's not safe. I can't protect her and hunt him at the same time. So I hunt him. You protect her. We do our jobs. Jun-seo was quiet for a long time. Then, how long? However long it takes. Months. Years. Until he's dead. And what do I tell Min-ji? Wendy pulled out an envelope. A letter, pages long. Read this to her. Every time she asks for me. Tell her I love her. Tell her I'm coming back. Tell her this is how I keep her safe. She's 2.5 years old. She won't understand. Then read it until she does. Wendy zipped her bag. I'm doing this for her. So she can grow up without this hanging over her. So she can be safe. Or you're doing it because you want revenge and this is how you justify abandoning your daughter, Jun-seo said, his voice still flat but the words cutting. Wendy flinched. Maybe both. Maybe I'm a terrible mother who's using protection as an excuse to hunt. Maybe I just want to kill the men who took everything from us. Does it matter? The result is the same. Chen Zhao dies. Min-ji gets to live. And what about you? Jun-seo asked. What do you become out there, alone, hunting, killing? What comes back to us? I don't know, Wendy admitted. But I'd rather become a monster who keeps her safe than stay human and watch her die. She left that night. Kissed Min-ji while she slept, whispered promises she might not keep. Held Jun-seo one last time. Take care of our daughter. Build the alliances we'll need. Prepare for war. Because when I find Chen Zhao, when I make him reveal himself, this isn't going to end quietly. He said this is the beginning. So let's finish it. Come back to us, Jun-seo said. Whatever you become out there, come back. I will, Wendy lied, and disappeared into the Seoul night. They announced her death 2 weeks later. A car accident, closed casket funeral, grief-stricken husband and daughter. The underworld believed it. Chen Zhao believed it. Only Jun-seo and his closest allies knew the truth. Wendy Anderson was hunting. Min-ji cried for her mother every night for 6 months. Jun-seo read the letter so many times he had it memorized. My beautiful Min-ji. Mommy had to go away for a while to keep you safe. I'm fighting bad people so they can't hurt you. I think about you every day. I love you more than anything in the world. Be good for Daddy. Be strong. Be brave. I'm coming back. I promise. Love, Mommy. Simple words for a toddler who couldn't understand why Mommy's side of the bed was empty, why her voice was gone, why only Daddy was there now. When is Mommy coming back? Min-ji asked every day. When it's safe, Jun-seo answered every time. When the bad people are gone. She's making the world safe for you. I want her now. I know, baby. I know. Jun-seo threw himself into preparation. If Wendy's hunt brought Chen Zhao into the open, they needed to be ready for war. He rebuilt alliances the Matriarch had abandoned. Reached out to families in Tokyo, Hong Kong, Singapore. Legitimate businessmen who also controlled the shadows. He offered partnerships, mutual protection, shared intelligence. Slowly, carefully, he built a network that would make Chen Zhao's war costly. He also prepared Min-ji, though she was too young to understand. Started teaching her situational awareness, how to notice things, remember faces, trust her instincts. Not training, not yet. Just awareness. Building the foundation for what she'd need to become. Meanwhile, Wendy disappeared into Southeast Asia's underworld. She tracked Chen Zhao's operations through Thailand, Vietnam, Myanmar, Taiwan. Left bodies in her wake, his lieutenants, his suppliers, his protection. Each kill brought her closer to the man himself. Each kill made her more efficient, more cold, more machine than woman. She cut her hair short, military style. Added scars to the ones she already had. Learned to sleep 3 hours a night and wake fully alert. Became fluent in violence in 6 languages. The woman who'd been a teacher, who'd played with her daughter, who'd chosen mercy in the Sunbu, that woman died somewhere between Bangkok and Taipei. What remained was the operative. Pure. Focused. Lethal. She called Jun-seo once every 3 months. Never from the same place. Never for long. Still hunting. Still alive. Kiss Min-ji for me. That was it. No details. No emotion. Just confirmation she breathed. Year 1 passed. Min-ji turned 3, then 4. Stopped asking when Mommy was coming back. Started asking if Mommy was real. Jun-seo showed her photos, read the letter, told stories. But Min-ji's memories of Wendy faded. She remembered impressions, warm arms, soft voice, feeling safe. But not the face. Not the person. Jun-seo dated no one. Focused entirely on Min-ji and preparation. The organization ran smoothly under his strategic direction. Legitimate businesses thrived. The underground operations he couldn't fully eliminate stayed quiet, controlled. On the surface, they looked like a normal family. Wealthy businessman father raising his daughter alone after tragic loss. No one knew he was building an army. Year 2 brought Wendy's first real lead. A compound in rural Taiwan where Chen Zhao's inner circle met quarterly. She infiltrated, killed 6 men, got Chen Zhao's location. Myanmar, near the Chinese border. She went there. Found an empty compound. He'd known she was coming. Had left a message, "I'm watching. When I'm ready, I'll end this. Until then, keep dancing, operative." He was playing with her. Enjoying the hunt. Leading her on a chase that kept her away from Seoul, from her family, from the real target, Min-ji. She realized too late that the chase was the point. Keeping her busy while he planned something bigger. She called Jun-seo. He's been tracking me. Knows I'm hunting him. This is a game to him. Then stop playing, Jun-seo said. Come home. We prepare together. Not yet. I'm close. I can feel it. Min-ji asks about you less now. She's forgetting, Wendy. Silence. Then, better she forgets than dies. Keep reading the letter. Keep her safe. I'll be back. Year 3. Min-ji turned 5, started school. Jun-seo watched her interact with other children, saw how she kept distance, how she observed instead of engaged. His training was taking root. She was becoming careful. Aware. Different from other kids her age. Why don't you have a mommy? Other children asked. She died, Min-ji said, because that's what everyone believed. Car accident. I'm sorry. It's okay. I have my daddy. He takes care of me. But at night, when she thought he wasn't listening, Jun-seo heard her crying quietly. Heard her whisper, "I miss you, mommy," to a letter she couldn't read yet but had memorized from hearing it so many times. Wendy tracked Chen Zhao to Hong Kong. Cornered him in a warehouse. They faced each other finally, the hunter and the ghost. "You're persistent," he said in Mandarin, old and weathered but eyes sharp. "I respect that. You've killed 32 of my people over 3 years. Impressive. Where are your operations based?" Wendy asked, gun trained on him. "Who are your allies? How deep does your network go? You think killing me ends this?" Chen laughed. "I'm 70 years old. Already dying. Cancer. 6 months, maybe less. But my revenge doesn't die with me. I've set things in motion that will shake Asia's underworld for decades. Your husband's alliances won't save him. Your daughter won't live to see 15. That's my gift to the Choi family. That's what they get for destroying mine." "Tell me where," Wendy said, finger on trigger. "No," Chen said. "You kill me now, you learn nothing. You let me walk, maybe I give you pieces. Keep you chasing. Keep you away from Seoul while my plan unfolds. Your choice, operative. Quick revenge or your daughter's safety." Wendy hesitated. In that second, Chen moved. Smoke grenade. Explosion. Chaos. When it cleared, he was gone. Again. She'd been so close. And she'd failed. Year 4. Min-ji turned 6, then 7. Grew taller, smarter, more observant. Jun-seo started actual training now, basic self-defense, awareness drills, strategy games that taught her to think ahead. She took to it naturally, her sharp mind absorbing lessons others took years to learn. "Why do I need to know this?" she asked once. "Because the world can be dangerous," Jun-seo said. "And I need you to be able to protect yourself." Is this what mommy was doing? Protecting me? Jun-seo pulled out the worn letter, read it again. Min-ji mouthed the words along with him, knowing them by heart. Yes. This is what she's doing. Fighting to keep you safe. Do you think she's still alive? Min-ji asked. Really? Jun-seo met his daughter's eyes so much like Wendy's. Yes. She's alive. And someday she'll come back. Okay, Min-ji said, wanting to believe. Wendy spent year 4 chasing leads that went nowhere. Chen Zhao had gone fully underground. His operations continued but he was invisible. She killed another 40 of his people. Destroyed his businesses. Cost him millions. But she couldn't find him. Couldn't end it. She looked at herself in a mirror in a Shanghai hotel room. Barely recognized what she saw. Scars on her face, neck, arms. Hair cut brutal and short. Eyes empty. Body lean and hard. She was 36 years old and looked 50. Combat and killing and never sleeping had aged her in ways time couldn't match. She thought about Min-ji. Tried to remember what she looked like now. Would be 7 years old. Starting to grow. Probably had questions about things. Probably needed her mother. Probably didn't remember her anymore. She picked up the phone. Called Jun-seo. "I'm done," she said. 5 years. I've got nothing. He's too smart, too careful. He's winning by making me chase. I'm coming home. Good, Jun-seo said simply. We need you here. Min-ji needs you. We have alliances built. We're as ready as we can be. Come home. I'm not the same, Wendy warned. I don't know if I can be what you need. What she needs. Come home anyway. We'll figure it out. Wendy returned to Seoul in late spring. She'd been gone 5 years and 4 months. She approached the house carefully, watching, making sure it was safe. Saw Jun-seo through the window, reading to Min-ji, 7 years old now, longer hair, growing into her features. Reading the letter. Her letter. Wendy's hand shook. She'd become so efficient at killing she'd forgotten how to be scared. But facing her daughter scared her more than any enemy. She knocked. Jun-seo answered. Looked at her, shorter hair, harder face, scars. You're back. I'm back. She's inside. She's been asking about you more lately. Almost like she knew. He stepped aside. Be gentle. She doesn't remember you clearly. This is going to be hard. Wendy walked in. Saw Min-ji standing in the living room, curious, cautious. The girl looked at her with Wendy's eyes but didn't recognize her own mother. Min-ji, Wendy said, voice rough from disuse. It's me. It's Mommy. Min-ji stared. You're not dead. No, baby. I'm not dead. I was away. Fighting bad people. Like in the letter. Remember the letter? I know the letter, Min-ji said slowly. Daddy reads it every night. But you don't look like Mommy. Mommy was pretty. You look scary. The words hit harder than any bullet. Wendy knelt down to Min-ji's level. I know I look different. I changed. But I'm still your Mommy. I still love you. I came back like I promised. Min-ji looked at her father. Is it really her? Yes, Jun-seo said. It's really Mommy. She's been gone a long time. But she's home now. Min-ji approached cautiously. Studied Wendy's face. Reached out and touched a scar on her cheek. Does it hurt? Not anymore, Wendy said. Did you find the bad people? I found some of them. Not all. But I will. Are you leaving again? Wendy's chest tightened. No. I'm staying now. I'm here. Okay, Min-ji said, uncertain. Then, quieter, I missed you. Even though I didn't remember you. I missed you. Wendy pulled her daughter into a hug. Min-ji stood rigid at first, then slowly relaxed. They stayed like that for a long time, Wendy memorizing the feel of her daughter in her arms, Min-ji trying to reconcile the stranger with the mother from her fading memories. That night, after Min-ji was asleep, Wendy and Jun-seo talked. She's different, Wendy said. More careful. Aware. You've been training her. Basic awareness. Some self-defense. Strategic thinking. Nothing intensive. But yes, I've been preparing her. Given what we face, I thought it necessary. She's 7. She's our daughter in a dangerous world, Jun-seo corrected. And in 3 years, when she's 10, we train her properly. That was always the plan. And she just accepts this. This isn't a normal childhood. Nothing about our lives is normal, Jun-seo said. She knows we're different. Knows we're careful. Knows there are rules about safety. But she's still a kid. She plays, has friends, goes to school. I've balanced it as best I can. I don't know how to be her mother anymore, Wendy admitted. I spent 5 years being a weapon. I don't know how to be warm. How to be gentle. How to be what she needs. Then learn again, Jun-seo said. You have time. We have time. Start with being here. Being present. The rest will come. But it didn't come easily. Wendy found herself talking to Min-ji about survival tactics when she should be asking about school. Found herself analyzing threats when she should be relaxed. Found herself checking weapons when she should be cooking dinner. The operative hadn't turned off. Couldn't turn off. Min-ji noticed. Why do you always look at the windows? She asked one day. Making sure we're safe, Wendy said. But Daddy already checked them. He checks everything. I know. But I check too. It's what I do. Because of the bad people. Yes. The ones who killed Uncle Kong. The ones who made you go away. Wendy looked at her daughter. Jun-seo had told her about Kong, kept his memory alive. Yes. Those people. Are you going to find them? I'm trying. And when you do, will you leave again? Wendy knelt down. No. I'm not leaving again. Whatever happens, I'm staying with you. I promise. Okay, Min-ji said, but Wendy could see the doubt in her eyes. The promise meant nothing to a child who'd been promised her mother would return and then waited 5 years. 3 months after Wendy's return, Chen Zhao made contact. A message delivered to their home. Simple. Direct. The war begins now. I hope you're ready. Jun-seo convened his alliances. Representatives from 6 families across Asia gathered in Seoul. He laid out what they faced: Chen Zhao, dying but determined, with resources and hatred spanning decades. A man who wanted to take down not just the Choi family but destabilize the entire underworld power structure in Asia. He's going to move against all of us, Jun-seo explained. Use old grudges, exploit weaknesses, turn us against each other. His revenge isn't just personal. It's systemic. He wants chaos. So we eliminate him, one boss said. Put a bounty so large someone brings us his head. He's too careful, Wendy said, speaking up. This was the first time most of them had seen her alive. I spent 5 years hunting him. He's always 3 steps ahead. We need to make him come to us. How? Another boss asked. We give him what he wants, Wendy said. Make him think he's winning. Draw him out. Then finish it. They spent weeks planning. Setting up the board. Creating vulnerability that looked real but was a trap. Chen Zhao was smart, but he was also dying and desperate. Eventually he'd move. And when he did, they'd be ready. Min-ji watched her mother prepare. Watched her clean weapons, study maps, talk strategy with her father. Saw the focus, the intensity, the absolute conviction. Is this what you did for 5 years? Min-ji asked. Hunt people. Yes, Wendy said honestly. Did you kill them? Wendy hesitated. Should she lie to her 7-year-old daughter? Protect her innocence. But Min-ji's eyes were too knowing. She'd lived in this world long enough to understand its rules. Yes, Wendy said. I killed them. Bad people who wanted to hurt you. Who wanted to hurt our family. Does it bother you? Killing people. It used to, Wendy admitted. Now it's just what I do. What I'm good at. Is that why you look sad? Min-ji asked. Even when you smile, your eyes look sad. Out of the mouths of children. Maybe, Wendy said. I've seen a lot of sad things. Done a lot of hard things. But I did them for you. To keep you safe. I know, Min-ji said. Daddy told me. He reads the letter every night still. Even though you're back. He says I should remember what you wrote. That you love me more than anything. That's the truest thing I've ever written, Wendy said. Everything I did because I love you. Then why do I still feel like I don't know you? Min-ji asked quietly. Wendy had no answer. Because it was true. They were strangers living in the same house, connected by blood but separated by 5 years of absence and transformation. The attack came 3 months after Chen Zhao's message. Coordinated strikes across Asia. Chen's forces hit Jun-seo's allies simultaneously: Hong Kong, Singapore, Tokyo. Testing defenses. Probing weaknesses. Starting small but building to something bigger. Jun-seo coordinated the response from Seoul. His alliances held. The attacks were repelled but everyone took damage. This was the beginning Chen Zhao promised. The war that would shake everything. He's coming, Wendy said, studying the pattern. All of this is misdirection. He's coming here. To Seoul. To finish what he started. Let him come, Jun-seo said. We're ready. They moved Min-ji to a secure location. Protectors. Layers of security. Contingency plans. She went without protest. She'd been trained for this, expected this. But she looked at her mother before leaving. You're coming back, right? Min-ji asked. You're not leaving again. I'm coming back, Wendy promised. I'm ending this so we can finally be safe. So I can finally be your mom properly. Okay, Min-ji said. Don't die. I waited 5 years already. I don't want to wait forever. You won't, Wendy said, and watched her daughter disappear into protection. Chen Zhao revealed himself 2 weeks later. Walked into a restaurant in Gangnam, alone, unarmed, and sent a message: he wanted to meet. Neutral ground. Just talk. Lay out terms. It's a trap, Wendy said. Obviously, Jun-seo agreed. But we go anyway. Because we need to end this. They met him in a private room. Chen Zhao looked like death already, gaunt, pale, moving carefully. Cancer was eating him from inside. But his eyes were alive. Sharp. Calculating. You came, he said. Good. I want you to understand what you're facing before I destroy you. You want to talk terms? Jun-seo asked. We're listening. No terms, Chen said. Just truth. I've spent 40 years building to this moment. 40 years creating a network that doesn't need me to survive. I'll be dead in weeks. But my revenge lives on. I've set up operations across 10 countries. Each one programmed to move against your interests. To target your businesses, your allies, your family. You kill me today, changes nothing. You let me walk, changes nothing. The war continues with or without me. Then why are we here? Wendy asked. So you know, Chen said. So you understand that this isn't about me anymore. It's about what I've built. And you can't kill an idea. You can't stop momentum once it starts. The Choi family destroyed mine. Now I destroy yours. Not quickly. Slowly. Over years. Watching you struggle, fight, lose ground. Watching your daughter grow up in chaos. That's my revenge. Living long enough to watch the beginning and knowing it continues after I'm gone. You're dying, Wendy said. Scared and alone. Destroying everything you've built for revenge against people who weren't even alive when your family died. You think that makes you strong? You're pathetic. Chen smiled. Maybe. But I'm pathetic who wins. Enjoy your war, operative. Enjoy your daughter's childhood being consumed by what I've started. Enjoy explaining to her why her life can never be normal. That's my gift to you. He stood, preparing to leave. Wendy's hand went to her weapon. Jun-seo stopped her with a look. Let him go, Jun-seo said. He's right. Killing him changes nothing. Chen Zhao walked out. Disappeared back into the shadows. Died 3 weeks later in a hospital in Singapore. Left behind exactly what he'd promised, a network designed to wage war against everything they'd built. The next 2 years were constant conflict. Attacks. Counterattacks. Jun-seo's alliances fighting Chen's network. Wendy going operational again, not hunting a ghost this time but systematically dismantling the machine Chen had built. It was slow, expensive, exhausting work. They won more than they lost, but the cost was high. Min-ji turned 8, then 9. Grew up in a world of careful security, constant vigilance, parents who were there physically but distracted. She excelled at school because she was brilliant. Excelled at the training Jun-seo gave her because she was dedicated. But she was lonely. Different from other kids. Aware of things they couldn't imagine. "When does it end?" she asked one night when Wendy came home late, tired, covered in bruises from a fight. "Soon," Wendy said. "We're close. The network is crumbling. Once we destroy the last pieces, it's over." "That's what you said last year," Min-ji pointed out. "And the year before. It's never over. This time it will be." "Why should I believe you?" Min-ji asked, and there was edge in her voice. "You left for 5 years and said you were coming back when it was safe. Then you came back and it still wasn't safe. Now you say it'll be over soon. But it's never over. This is just our life. Fighting. Hiding. Waiting for the next attack." Wendy had no counter-argument. Because Min-ji was right. This was their life. This was what they'd built. What they'd chosen. "I'm sorry," Wendy said. "You deserved better than this." "I deserved my mother," Min-ji said quietly. "The one from the letter. The one who was warm and loved me and made me feel safe. Instead I got the operative. The weapon. The stranger who looks at me like I'm a mission objective." The words cut deep because they were true. Wendy had come back but she'd never really returned. The woman who'd left was gone. What came back was efficient, professional, deadly. A mother in name only. "When I turn 10, Min-ji continued, you're going to train me properly. Make me like you. Is that right?" "Yes," Jun-seo said, appearing in the doorway. "That's the plan. When you're ready, we teach you to protect yourself fully." "I don't want to be like you," Min-ji said, looking between her parents. "Either of you. I don't want to be the weapon. I don't want to be the strategist. I want to be me. But I can't because of who you are. What you've made me part of." "We're trying to protect you," Wendy said. "I know," Min-ji said. "But maybe I don't want to be protected anymore. Maybe I want to choose for myself. Fight my own fights. Be my own person." She left the room, going to bed, leaving her parents in silence. "She's right," Jun-seo said finally. "We've taken her choices. Made decisions about her life without asking what she wants. We're her parents," Wendy said. "We're supposed to protect her. Prepare her. Or we're turning her into us," Jun-seo said. "Efficient. Hard. Unable to be normal. Is that what we want for her?" "I don't know what we want anymore," Wendy admitted. "I just know I won't let anyone hurt her. Won't let what happened to Kong happen again. Won't lose another person I love." They finished dismantling Chen Zhao's network over the next 8 months. Wendy led operations across 4 countries, destroying the last pieces of his revenge machine. Jun-seo coordinated everything, moved assets, protected their interests. It was brutal, expensive work. But by Min-ji's 10th birthday, it was finally done. The network was destroyed. The war was over. They held a small party at home. Just family. Jun-seo made Min-ji's favorite foods. Wendy bought presents she wasn't sure her daughter would like, practical things, survival gear disguised as gifts. Min-ji opened them politely, thanked her mother, but the distance between them was obvious. That night, Wendy found Min-ji on the balcony, looking at Seoul's lights. 10 years old, Wendy said, standing beside her. "Hard to believe. Is it?" Min-ji asked. "You missed 5 of them. Dad watched me grow up. You just got the summary version." "I know. And I'm sorry. I know I can't get those years back. Can't undo the choices I made. But I'm here now. And the war is over. We can finally be normal." "Normal," Min-ji repeated. "What's that look like for us? We're not normal. We'll never be normal. You're an operative who's killed more people than I can count. Dad runs a criminal organization disguised as legitimate business. And I'm the kid who's been trained since age 3 to be aware of threats, to think strategically, to never trust fully. That's not normal. You're right, Wendy admitted. We're not normal. But we can try. We can give you a childhood that's not entirely about survival. Except you're going to train me now, Min-ji said. That's the plan. Now that I'm 10. Now that the war is over. You're going to make me a weapon like you. We're going to teach you to protect yourself, Wendy corrected. There's a difference. Is there? Min-ji looked at her mother. Because from where I'm standing, you taught yourself to protect me and it turned you into someone I don't recognize. Someone who can't be warm anymore. Can't be soft. Can't just be mom. You're always the operative. Always scanning, planning, ready to kill. Is that what you want me to become? Wendy was quiet for a long time. No. I don't want that for you. But I also don't want you helpless. Don't want you unable to defend yourself when threats come. Because they will come. Our past guarantees that. Then teach me to fight, Min-ji said. But let me choose who I become. Don't make me into you. Don't make me into Dad. Let me be something else. Something new. Can you do that? I can try, Wendy said. That's all I'm asking, Min-ji said. Just try to see me as Min-ji. Not as the mission. Not as the thing you're protecting. Just as your daughter who wants her mom back. Wendy felt tears, the first in years. I don't know if that person exists anymore. The mom you remember. I don't know if I can be her. Then be someone new, Min-ji said. Someone who's both. The operative and the mom. The weapon and the person. You told me once people contain multitudes. So contain both. Be both. For me. Wendy pulled her daughter into a hug. Min-ji was taller now, almost to her shoulder. Growing up. Becoming her own person. I'll try. I promise. I'll try. They started training the next week. But it was different than Wendy expected. Min-ji approached it with curiosity instead of fear. Asked questions about technique, strategy, why certain moves worked. She was brilliant, picked up concepts faster than Wendy had. But she also insisted on boundaries. I'll learn to fight, Min-ji said. But I'm not killing anyone unless absolutely necessary. I'm not becoming what you are. I'll protect myself. But I won't hunt. That's my line. Agreed, Wendy said, respecting it. Jun-seo watched them train, watched them slowly rebuild something that resembled a mother-daughter relationship. Watched Wendy try to be softer, more present, more human. It was awkward. She forgot how to talk about normal things, how to ask about school without making it a strategic assessment. But she tried. Min-ji was patient. Corrected her mother gently. That's operative talk. I need mom talk. Try again. And Wendy would try again. Learning how to be a mother the same way she'd learned to be a weapon, through repetition and dedication. 6 months after Min-ji's 10th birthday, they were as close to normal as their family could get. Wendy still struggled with warmth, but she was getting better. Still checked for threats compulsively, but was learning to relax. Still saw the world through operative eyes, but was trying to see it through mother eyes too. Jun-seo had successfully transitioned 90% of their operations to legitimate business. The organization was mostly clean now. Legal. Sustainable. They could maintain their wealth and influence without the violence. It was what they'd always wanted. Then the message came. Hand-delivered to their home. Simple envelope. Inside, a single sentence in Chinese, Chen Zhao was the beginning. I am the continuation. The war is not over. It is reborn. Jun-seo and Wendy stared at the message. There's more, Wendy said quietly. Chen didn't just build a network. He built successors. People who believe in his cause. Who want to finish what he started. Then we find them, Jun-seo said. We end this permanently. No, Min-ji said, appearing in the doorway. She'd been listening. You've been ending things permanently my whole life. It never ends. There's always another threat. Another enemy. Another war. When does it stop? When we make it stop, Wendy said. Or when you stop fighting, Min-ji said. What if you just walked away? Sold everything. Left Seoul. Became actually normal instead of pretending. We can't, Jun-seo said. Too many people depend on us. Too many alliances. Too much infrastructure. We can't just walk away. Then this never ends, Min-ji said. And I'll spend my whole life preparing for wars I didn't start. Fighting enemies who hate me for things you did. Is that what you want? No, Wendy said. But I don't know another way. Then find one, Min-ji said. Because I'm not spending my life running. I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to be afraid. When this enemy comes, and they will come, I want to be ready. Not just to fight. To end it. Permanently. So I can finally live. Wendy looked at her daughter. 10 years old but talking like someone much older. Someone who'd grown up too fast. Someone who'd been shaped by their world but refused to be defined by it. What are you saying? Wendy asked. I'm saying when the time comes, when this enemy reveals themselves, I want to be part of stopping them. Not as a child you protect. As someone who fights beside you. Someone who has a say in her own life. Can you do that? Can you trust me to be strong enough? Wendy and Jun-seo exchanged looks. Their 10-year-old daughter was asking to fight. To be part of their world fully. To take responsibility for her own safety. Every parent instinct said no. Protect her. Keep her innocent as long as possible. But Min-ji wasn't innocent. Hadn't been for years. And maybe trying to protect her from reality was doing more harm than good. When you're ready, Jun-seo said carefully. When you've trained enough. When you understand fully what you're asking. Then yes. You can fight beside us. I'm already ready, Min-ji said. I've been preparing my whole life. I just needed you to see it. The months that followed were different. Wendy trained Min-ji seriously now, not holding back. Taught her everything, combat, weapons, strategy, how to read people, how to survive. Min-ji absorbed it all. She was naturally talented, picking up in months what took others years. But she also insisted on boundaries. On staying human. She trained hard but also went to school, had friends, lived as normally as possible. She refused to let their world consume her entirely. I can be both, she told Wendy. Strong and soft. Trained and innocent. Ready and young. I don't have to choose. You're wiser than I was, Wendy admitted. I thought I had to be one thing. The operative. The weapon. I forgot I could be multiple things. So remember, Min-ji said. Be mom and operative. Be both. Show me how. And Wendy tried. Really tried. Found moments to be soft, movie nights, cooking together, talking about normal things. Found moments to be the mother Min-ji needed instead of just the protector. It was hard. Years of survival instinct didn't turn off easily. But she kept trying. Jun-seo watched his family knit itself back together. Watched Wendy slowly return from wherever she'd gone during those 5 years of hunting. Watched Min-ji grow into someone remarkable, strong but not hard, capable but not cold, ready but not eager for violence. They were different now. All three of them. Changed by what they'd survived. But maybe stronger for it. The new enemy made contact a year later. Called themselves the Phoenix Society, people who believed in Chen Zhao's vision of tearing down the old underworld order and rebuilding it. They wanted chaos, revolution, complete destruction of existing power structures. And they wanted to start by destroying the Choi family publicly. Making an example. Showing that even the strongest could fall. They're coming for us, Jun-seo said, reading the intelligence. Planning something big. Public. Designed to humiliate and destroy us completely. Then we meet them head-on, Wendy said. No more running. No more hunting. We face this together and end it permanently. As a family, Min-ji added. She was 11 now, taller, more confident. All three of us. Like he promised. Jun-seo looked at his daughter. Saw Wendy's determination in her eyes, his strategic mind in how she approached problems. Saw someone who was both of them but also entirely herself. As a family, he agreed. They spent 3 months preparing. Jun-seo coordinated with allies, built intelligence networks, identified the Phoenix Society's leadership. Wendy trained with Min-ji daily, making sure she was ready. And Min-ji studied, learned, prepared herself mentally for what was coming. Are you scared? Wendy asked her daughter one night. Yes, Min-ji admitted. But not of fighting. I'm scared of losing you again. Of you leaving to hunt them. Of spending more years without my mom. I'm not leaving, Wendy promised. Whatever happens, I stay. We fight this together or not at all. Good, Min-ji said. Because I'm tired of being alone. I want my family. All of us. Together. The Phoenix Society struck 6 weeks later. Coordinated attack on Jun-seo's primary business headquarters. 50 fighters, armed and trained, designed to destroy everything in a very public, very brutal display. But they'd underestimated their targets. Jun-seo had prepared. Wendy had positioned. And Min-ji, 11 years old but trained and ready, stood with them. The battle was brutal. Wendy moved through enemies like she'd never stopped being the operative. Jun-seo coordinated defense like the strategist he was. And Min-ji, young but capable, protected herself, used what she'd learned, proved she belonged. They won. Captured the Phoenix Society's leadership. Ended the threat permanently this time, not through killing but through exposure. Jun-seo handed evidence to authorities, destroyed their credibility, dismantled their organization legally. No more hidden wars. Everything public, documented, finished. When it was over, when the last member of Phoenix Society was arrested and their network destroyed, the Choi family stood together in their home. Is it really over? Min-ji asked. For now, Jun-seo said honestly. There will always be threats. Always challenges. But we've eliminated the organized ones. The systematic revenge campaigns. What comes next will be smaller. Manageable. And we'll face it together, Wendy added. No more leaving. No more 5-year hunts. No more choosing between family and mission. The mission is family now. Min-ji smiled, genuinely smiled for the first time in years. Good. Because I have plans. School. Friends. A life I want to live. And I need my parents there for it. Not the operative and the strategist. Mom and Dad. We can do that, Wendy said. We're learning. Slowly. But we're learning. That's all I ask, Min-ji said. They stood on the balcony that night, looking at Seoul. The city where everything had happened. Where they'd fought, survived, lost, won. Where they'd become something they never intended but couldn't avoid. She's going to be extraordinary, Jun-seo said, watching Min-ji inside, reading a book like a normal kid. Our daughter. She's going to be better than either of us. She already is, Wendy said. She knows how to be strong without being hard. How to be ready without being afraid. How to survive without losing herself. We taught her to fight. But she taught herself to be human while doing it. Do you think she'll follow us? Jun-seo asked. Take over someday. I think she'll do whatever she chooses, Wendy said. And we'll support her. Whether that's taking over, walking away, or building something completely different. She's earned the right to choose her own path. After everything we've put her through. Because of everything we've put her through, Wendy corrected. She knows this world. Knows its costs. Knows what it takes to survive. And when she's ready, when she decides what she wants, she'll be prepared. That's all we can give her. Preparation and choice. Jun-seo nodded. And love. We can give her that too. Yes, Wendy said, putting her arm around her husband. We can give her that. Finally. Actually. Without condition or complication. Just love. Inside, Min-ji looked up from her book and saw her parents on the balcony. Saw them close, comfortable, together. Saw the family they were supposed to be starting to emerge from the weapons they'd become. She thought about Uncle Kong, who she barely remembered but knew had loved her enough to die. Thought about the mother who'd left for 5 years to hunt ghosts. Thought about the father who'd raised her alone while building an empire. Thought about the life she'd been given, complicated, dangerous, nothing like normal. But it was hers. And she was strong enough to handle it. Smart enough to navigate it. And determined enough to build something better from it. Someday she'd make her own choices about this world. About whether to stay in it, run from it, or transform it entirely. But that was future Min-ji's problem. Right now, she was 11 years old. She had parents who loved her, even if they showed it strangely. She had skills that made her capable. And she had a future that was finally, actually, genuinely hers to decide. The war was over. The threats were managed. The family was together. And for the first time in her entire life, Min-ji felt something she'd never really experienced: safe. Not the false safety of ignorance. Not the temporary safety of preparation. But real safety. The kind that comes from knowing you're strong enough to handle what comes. The kind that comes from having people beside you who'll fight for you. The kind that comes from finally being ready for whatever your life throws at you. She closed her book and joined her parents on the balcony. "What are you thinking about?" Wendy asked. "The future," Min-ji said. "What I want to do. Who I want to be." And Jun-seo prompted. "And I haven't decided yet," Min-ji said. "But I will. When I'm ready." "Is that okay?" "That's perfect," Wendy said, pulling her daughter close. "Take all the time you need. We're not going anywhere." "Promise?" Min-ji asked. "Promise," Wendy said. "I'm done leaving. Done hunting. Done being the operative more than I'm mom. From now on, you come first. Always." "Good," Min-ji said, leaning into her mother's warmth. "Because I missed you. The real you. Not the weapon. Just mom." "I'm here," Wendy said. "I'm finally here." They stood together, watching Seoul's lights, a family rebuilt from pieces. Scarred, complicated, unusual. But together. Finally, actually, genuinely together. And somewhere in the night, in the parts of the city that never slept, in the shadows they used to hunt, their legend grew. The operative and the strategist. The ones who'd survived everything. The ones who'd transformed from weapons back into people. The ones who'd proven that love could survive even the darkest choices. But more importantly, more privately, more truly, they were just Wendy, Jun-seo, and Min-ji. A family that had been broken and rebuilt. A family that had lost pieces and found new ones. A family that had survived. And now, finally, a family that could live. The war was over. Their daughter was safe. The future was unwritten. And for the first time in 11 years, that felt like a gift instead of a threat. If this story moved you, if you followed Wendy and Jun-seo from the beginning through the brutality and heartbreak and transformation, hit that like button. Subscribe because Min-ji's story is just beginning. Part 4 will follow her journey, her choices, her path through the world her parents built. Drop a comment telling me, what would you choose in Min-ji's place? Walk away from this world or transform it? Thank you for going on this journey. The operative and the strategist found their way home. Now let's see what their daughter does with the future they fought to give her. I'll see you in the next one.